Now then, all Ben here back on the Rad Music Chat channel. Hope you're all doing really well. We're back with episode number 12 in this series called Songs of My Life. Songs of My Life is where we take a music lover just like you, just like me, give them 20 questions. Each one is answered by a song. Get them to choose the 5 or 6 questions that speak to them the most. Bring them on the channel, find out what they've chosen, have a chat about what those songs mean to them, the artists, and get a few stories along the way. So, episode number 12, as I say, is with a gentleman called Peter Munters. Now, Peter was a singer guitar player in a band that I've loved for well over 20 years called Over It. Over It started in Virginia and then moved to Orange County in California. When Over It disbanded, several albums in, Peter then went on to be in the band called Runner Runner, a power pop band that had all the members of Over It. Nowadays, Peter still resides in California with his family. He is still a singer-songwriter, but mainly does studio work, production, engineering, and is just, an absolute star. And this will be the first episode as well where we have some singing going on. So look forward to that. Anyway, I won't say any more. Just enjoy it, and thanks for watching. And I am on the line with Mr. Peter Munters.
Here we go.
How are you doing?
Really well. So happy to be with you, Ben. How you doing?
Good. Really well, thank you. And yes, we had several attempts to get together, but I really appreciate that you've made it. So it's good to see you looking happy and healthy as well. So
Don't
awesome.
rush a good thing, baby.
Yeah, that's it. So when I sent you these questions, I like to open by asking people how they approached it. So did you see the 20 and go, "Oh, I could go all of these," or did you see them? How did you pick your 5 or 6?
Ultimately, it was. I think ultimately I tried to lead with variety because yes, I took one look at the list and felt immediately overwhelmed. Like, oh, I could easily answer each of these questions.
Yeah.
So I tried to just kind of let my eye wander down the page, and once I had 5, did I include 6 in the end? I don't remember. I may have done 6.
You did, but that seems to be. Do you know what, Peter? The last few guests have all done the same thing, so I'm probably just going to format it to 6 anyway, because it seems to be the number that people are a bit more comfortable leaving it at. Is 6.
Well, the ancient mathematicians said that 6 is the first perfect number. And mathematically, that means that 6 is the sum of the product of its factors, 1 times 2 times 3.
Ah, okay. Yeah. No,
So there might be something there.
I think so. Yeah, I think we'll go for the 6 out of the 20.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
gosh, they're all wonderful questions. I mean, I was thrust down memory lane instantaneously.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I did agonize over those questions for a long time because some of them I didn't just want them to be so, you've got to walk the line between effective and corny, and I also didn't want to go too personal, and so I appreciate that. So, if you're ready to rock, we'll just fire in, shall we?
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so you chose the question, a song that reminds you of home. And you chose They Might Be Giants, Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Yeah. Well, it's a little on the nose, I suppose, but birdhouse and home, there's certainly a metaphor there. Mm-hmm. When I was, I think around 9.5, 10 years old, there was an episode of Tiny Toon Adventures, the Warner Brothers TV animation show. That wasn't an episode of the show at all. It was a pair of music videos, fully animated with the Tiny Toons characters for Istanbul, not Constantinople, the They Might Be Giants cover of the old school tune, and Particle Man, the 2 tracks from their album Flood. And at the time, I was just getting into popular music. I think I was listening to like Enya and Yanni and Deep Forest.
Wow.
Maybe maybe I had something with a guitar on it. I'm not even sure. It was
Okay.
right before my Columbia House 11 records for a penny subscription would come due, and I'd get like the uh, the golden vault of grunge and hard rock albums of the late 90s. I think it was like Soul Asylum, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, the list goes on and on. And
Yeah.
one more record made it into that list, and it was They Might Be Giants Flood, which I was inspired to research and discover after I went back to fifth grade the day after watching that Tiny Toons episode, and everyone's mind had been blown.
Wow.
So my fifth grade class was just abuzz with the question, what the heck was that?
That's
And
amazing.
so many of us discovered They Might Be Giants that way. And you know, it's hard to explain what makes that song so beautiful,
Hmm.
but it is one of a kind in its emotional and melodic ebullience. Like it feels so intimate and so bombastic and so welcoming and so strange, maybe even a little dangerous. It's talking about all of these like monolithic forces, um, Jason and the Argonauts
Yeah.
crashing on the shores, and there's even a I think the sound of a car horn and traffic in the bridge. Maybe it's just a synthesizer that resembles one, but
Mm.
um, They Might Be Giants to me represent the heart of musical inspiration, which is the ability to play anything that your imagination conjures and just
Yeah.
connect with your audience. It's
Yeah.
not about having a certain sound, it's not about having a certain message
Hmm.
outside of the idea that that message is just communication and connection. And
Mm.
to this day, they remain my favorite band. And a lot of people say that's their best song. It may or may not be, but it's undeniably iconic and
Hmm.
and makes me remember the time when I was young and my heart popped right open with the discovery of music that moved me.
Mm. You mentioned something there that was almost like a cultural event, which you don't get now because obviously there's
Yes,
so many forms of media that
yes,
no one's watching the same channels on TV. No one's watching. So, like you're saying, all of you saw that episode, and everyone was like, "What was that?" And it just doesn't happen now. I love hearing stories like that. That's so cool.
yes. I think it happens, but the diffusion is much greater because there are so many. The forum for discovering 6-7 is
Right.
multifaceted, whereas everyone's stars had to align with the programming of TV and the scheduling of that Wednesday afternoon or whatever it was.
Hmm.
And the next day, everyone's life had changed because,
Yeah.
hello, They Might Be Giants. Thank you, John and John. Love you.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Awesome. Great start. Um, okay, so changing tack quite a bit here, which is what we like. Um, a song that reminds you of high school stroke secondary school, as we call it in the
Mm.
UK. So you chose the Canadian punk rock heroes Propaganda and the song Showdown.
Tension in the stare, I cannot bear, so close to helpless as the songs I sing inside me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I take it you were in love with the album How to Clean Everything, like a lot of people are,
I still put on How to Clean Everything when I clean house.
right? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So when I met Nick Bailey from over it in 1993, going into 94, I was in eighth grade and he was in seventh grade. We met on the school bus, and I had heard about him. I was familiar with him as a mythologically cute rising seventh grader. Some of my classmates were familiar with him from elementary school.
Right.
And he approached me on the school bus one day to ask me about my Green Day Kerplunk T-shirt. And so I said, "Come sit with me." And he handed me his Walkman and played me a cassette which contained a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
And I actually don't think Propaganda was on that cassette, but it was the next thing that he showed me. It was like Good Riddance and Unwritten Law, Big Drill Car, The Offspring's first album. And then he was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, you got to look up this band Propaganda. Um, they're just like super technical, like I can't even follow some of the guitar stuff that they're playing. And this led to a conversation where Nick was like, well, you're learning guitar, right? Like maybe you could come over and like try and figure out this song with me.
Mhm.
And we looked at a couple of things, but the one that stands out in my memory is the Bridge of Showdowns. And where he sings, "I never have and never will pledge allegiance,"
Yeah.
and goes into this really cool guitar break, which would subsequently remain Nick's sound checking riff for years and years and years. But
They've all got
literally,
them.
we'd see each other like, from what felt like a mile away across all the sea of faces and lockers in the middle school and high school after that, and just like scream those lyrics at each other.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, a question that I like to ask people, because I do see these two bands as fundamentally very similar but very different. But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I know, but Propaganda or Strung Out, you have to choose.
Do you?
Yeah, you do.
I could
For the
never. I
Oh,
could
okay.
never. I defy you, Ben.
No, I'm a Strung Out diehard. I've been since Twisted by Design. Yeah,
See,
I mean,
if I was forced to choose,
yes.
oh God, this is an abysmal position you're putting me in. But if I was forced to choose, I would choose Propaganda because I think Propaganda is more musically. What's the right word? They've explored further and pushed boundaries further than Strung Out, which to me makes me want to listen another time. And I
Okay.
want to say that without taking anything away from Strung Out, because when around this same time, Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues was like my religious scripture. Like
Hmm.
I would play that album every afternoon as like the fuel to get through homework and just
Yeah.
survive. Like it was honestly just like elemental for me.
Hmm.
Um, so I love Strung Out, but I love the evolution of Propaganda, and I love that with their newer stuff, you
Hmm.
never know what you're gonna get, and the dimension of like jazz and improvisation that they bring to punk rock, I
Mm,
just feel like is uh, matchless in creativity.
right.
Lifetime Strung Out fan, but I never realized what a prolific and incredible painter Jason Cruz is. I don't know if this is a new endeavor of his or if he's always sort of had it close, but I absolutely love the artwork that he's doing these days.
So
And like
cool.
every subsequent painting is better than the last. Just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So cool. I mean, he's done most of the album covers, either whether it's art direction or whatever.
I never knew that.
Yeah. That's all
Never realized
Jason.
that.
And then their live record, which is the Live in a Dive they did,
Yeah.
that looks like a comic. That's him.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's incredible.
Well, some
Have you?
Strung Out fan I am, turns out.
No, I definitely heard Strung Out in earlier over it for sure,
You
for
sure
sure.
did.
Okay, so number 3 was a song that makes you long for summer, and again, in my opinion, you smashed it out of the park. That was Sam I Am with "She Found You."
She found you just when I thought you were breaking down.
Tell us
Ah,
what that means to you.
yes. So again, in those early formative guitar exploration hangs with Nick Bailey, he gave me a cassette of Clumsy,
Right.
and fell absolutely head over heels in love with Sam I Am. And I was sort of familiar with Sergi's work from just scanning the Lookout Records catalog and learning about Crimp Shrine and a couple other things.
Mhm.
But so our alternative rock station in DC in the 90s is called WHFS 99.1, and they had a huge festival at RFK Stadium in DC called the HF Festival.
Okay.
And it was always a star-studded event, but they had a side stage where like some of the up-and-coming bands or even unknown bands or local bands would get a shot to play at the big alternative festival. And I guess She Found You was pushed as a single in the spring of 1998. We got to the HF Festival with friends. I wasn't with I don't think I was with any of the guys from the band. I was with all other friends from high school. And I forget how this happened, but we got there and we went and checked out the bill for the side stage. Lo and behold, Sam I Am is playing at noon on the side stage,
Right.
which was just the most spectacular news one could receive.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, so we got to see Sam I Am, and I was already familiar with the record, and I mean, a couple of things. Like, they were the most phenomenally raw and powerful and honest sounding band I had ever encountered.
Yeah.
It blew my hair back so hard. And Jason is just like so unique and like sweaty and energetic and just like in everyone's face and like so full of love. Almost like any other person would be intimidating in that situation, but he's just like the teddy bear you want to hug, who could also
Yeah.
like kick your ass. And I'll never forget, because I continued to repeat this experience every time I saw Sam I Am subsequently. But they played She Found You, and after the first hook, I noticed no one was singing the big backup vocal, because there's like a whoa, just when I thought you were breaking down. And so I started singing the whoa, and Jason reached down and grabbed my head and just like put his hand on my head while he was singing the song. And it happened 2 or 3 or 4 more times after that. And I've
Awesome.
actually never had an encounter with him. I keep hoping that I'll find myself in Oakland sometime and run into him at the Golden Bull, where I think he bartends.
Okay.
So I could be like, I'm that dude. And of
Yeah.
course, there are probably multitudes of me out there who have had their hair held by Jason while we sing "She Found You." But yeah, after that, it just it set the bar for the energy levels that I wanted to experience in live music. And if I think about that song, I am behind the wheel of my dad's Jeep Cherokee, 1987 Jeep Cherokee, my first car, with all the windows down on the George Washington Parkway, with the Potomac River sparkling off to the right and the sunlight beaming through the trees as we defy the speed limit, blasting that song.
Awesome. Love it.
And that's Sam I Am for you.
I love that, because there was like 3 stories, awesome stories in that answer, which is great. That's perfect. I was going to say though that you were saying the most honest and raw in a very melodic, beautiful way. That's Sam I Am though, right? It's not. It's almost like when you listen to a Sam I Am song, or especially that that album, you're starting to freak me out. Like it's there's no real frills to it. It's just great songs, right?
Yes.
Just
And what it is, so to me, the secret of great songwriting is simple. And it's magic, really, but it's when the feeling lines up perfectly with the music. And that is it's a function of lyricism, it's a function of groove, it's a function of chords, it's a function of tones and dynamic. But even though the lyrics aren't always the most intelligible part of a Sam I Am song, it's almost more like weather, like the elements of weather, like a windstorm or a hurricane, and the feelings that it gives you are just so strong and beautiful.
Yep.
That's what I love about them. And then when you dig a little deeper below the surface, you find this exquisite poetry that is just heart-wrenching at times about human condition. Amazing.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I mean, do you find that Sam I Am are a band that you can? Okay, you say it's that song in particular makes you long for summer, but are they a band that are for all seasons for you, or are they not? I mean, it's not a bad thing if they're not.
You know what's funny? So this is funny. So Astray, the next album, I think it was the next one, became my winter soundtrack at college.
Right.
My sophomore year of college. I have so many memories of listening to Monday, sunshine, so high, it's hard to see. And maybe I was a little high at the time, but I remember it was that like autumn sunshine. I'm driving to class at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so really, I think they are a band for all seasons.
No, that's amazing. I mean, I have a, you know, on a topical note, because you're here and we're speaking about what we're speaking about. You know, those summer nights where it's been hot all day, and then when the sun goes down and the wind picks up, and you're just like, oh, it's so cool. Like Chasing a Constellation, your song, that's my nighttime drive, windows down, like just feeling good about the day, but it's still warm, but you're just cooling off. Put that song on, I'm there.
That's intensely gratifying to hear, because I think we intended that to be a song of the night.
Yes. Yeah.
We
100%.
definitely did. It was a creative choice.
Wonderful. Okay, we move on. So this was great. I love that you chose this this question, actually.
Okay.
So we've got a 2-for-1 here. So you've a song that you test new stereos or a new car stereo headphones with. So okay, so you had a tie with Steely Dan with the song "Any Major Dude Will Tell You."
Any major dude will tell you.
Yeah.
And Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel.
You could have a big dipper going.
Yeah, so essentially they're both immaculate recordings in my audio opinion and in my songophile opinion. But what you get in Any Major Dude Will Tell You is a perfectly smooth vocal mix and the cleanest clean guitar you'll ever hear, which I think in some ways will betray one side of a live sound system and show its imperfections. On the other hand, you've got Sledgehammer, which for its time is just and really holds up as such. Extremely progressive, modern, and experimental sounding, and presents, dare I say, foreshadows the expanding frequency response of modern music ever since 1984 or whenever it came out. And there's a little bit of confirmation bias in this because, so in 2006, when Over It opened for Goo Goo Dolls on their fall and winter tour, they had a really exceptional sound crew from Clare Brothers, and their front of house engineer used to play Sledgehammer every afternoon. It'd be the first song to come on. And I asked him about it one day, and he very frankly and immediately responded with, "Well, it's the best sounding song there is."
Right.
So, maybe I just took that as gospel, but it actually it felt true to me because that was the first music video I ever saw.
Wow.
And the gold standard for music videos ever since then. I mean, it's just it holds a magic that can't be touched for me for that reason. To hear a front of house guy who I respected so deeply, recognize it that way, clicked.
Yeah.
So yeah, Steely Dan, Sledgehammer.
It's got all the frequencies are covered as well.
That's right.
So it's funny how every sound guy will have that song where you can tell exactly what a PA is going to do with that song. Because I mean, on a tour that I was fortunate enough to be on, the sound guy, it was always 1999 by Prince, and that kind of showed. It was kind of, you'd get excited, after you'd loaded in and that. As soon as Russ started playing 1999, you're like, right, the day's begun, sort of thing. It's just, it's not, the show's not going to happen without hearing that song. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love that. Also a huge Batman Returns fan.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, are you a Steely Dan fan? Because I mean, they're a very American institution. They're pretty much not really anything here, and I think it's because, would you say they're almost like it's like an Americana thing? Like Steely Dan is almost just like American road trip music,
I think it is, and I also think, despite their familiarity, they're really at the heart of it, like a musician's band or a band's band, because they were such exceptional studio personalities and creators. But yeah. Awesome. I discovered Any Major Dude Will Tell You through my love of the Grateful Dead, because I liked Steely Dan, and I knew um, Dirty Work and a couple of their really big songs. But one day I was just like driving in the car and I heard that guitar sound. And I said, wait a minute, this is really cool. What is this? And I had to look it up. I didn't even realize it was Steely Dan. I was like,
Right.
that sounds like Jerry Garcia's guitar, only it's not. Gotta know. And lo and behold, Any Major Dude Will Tell
Yeah, awesome. And just quickly mentioning, yeah, the Sledgehammer video with all the stop start animation,
You.
incredible,
Yes.
absolutely incredible. But
Yeah.
like you also touched on a good thing about how it holds up with a lot of stuff from that era, as you will likely agree, does sound dated, whereas that holds, like you say, it doesn't sound tied to the 80s and that very, you know what I'm saying?
I think because it's so eclectic.
Right.
It's like eclectic for the sake of exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It just doesn't, even though it's tied to the 80s, it just doesn't have that. A lot of it when you hear, especially some say the hair metal stuff, it's great for what it is, but you can date it. You can be like, I bet that Rat song was 1986 or whatever. Whereas with that production on So in general, really, it's so like, it's timeless.
It's also really interesting kind of philosophically, because you think of a sledgehammer, it's like such a brute force instrument. And if the song is like an invocation of love, like I'll be whatever you need me to be, or I can be anything we imagine as long as we're together, or something like that, it's sort of the notion of the way that tool works is a stark contrast to the imaginative soundscape that song brings you into. And I think that's really cool.
Very cool. Yeah. I think Mr. Gabriel would appreciate that take on it, actually.
Hey. Send me an SSL console, Pete.
Okay, so we mentioned Grateful Dead. That's a nice segue. So I was going to ask if you're a Deadhead. So it was a song that gives you goosebumps. And I'll be honest, it was the only song on this list that I hadn't actually heard. So that was Stellar Blue by the Grateful Dead. Tell us what it means to you.
Yeah. Gosh, this song means so much to me. So it's a crazy thing as a songwriter. So even the most prolific songwriters will tell you that some ideas just come around and you don't really know what they are. And sometimes they just have to sit around and sort of ferment in the world before you can really finish giving them life, so that you can play it as a song. And basically Robert Hunter and Jerry Garcia had this really cool songwriting partnership where they would just hand one another ideas and then kind of connect, or regroup and write sometimes, or just let things sort of percolate. And the lyrics to Stella Blue, I think Jerry had for like the better part of a decade before he sat down and wrote the song.
Wow.
But it's basically a song about the haunting power of songs. The first line, all the years combined, they melt into a dream. A broken angel sings from a guitar. And it's just sort of, it brings you to that really vulnerable place of remembering and knowing that no matter how tough you are, no matter what you've been through, and especially considering what you've been through, the right song, the right lyric, the right melody will just shatter your heart wide open and bring you to your most vulnerable. And I was not a lifelong Deadhead. It's funny, I used to draw pictures of Jerry Garcia's guitars in my sketchbook as a kid, like 10 years old, because I just saw it somewhere and thought it was cool. Maybe at a big friend's big brother's bedroom on a poster or something.
Right.
And when the bands all went on hiatus and I found myself doing recording work and decided to go finish my bachelor's degree, I made a friend in recording school who's a major deadhead. And when we met, we became fast friends. And he very soon thereafter let me know that I too was a deadhead. I just didn't know it yet. And that he was gonna probably be instrumental in my transformation, which he was. And of course, I wrote all of this off at the time. But then a year later, Dead and Company emerged with John Mayer and Bob Weir and the guys collaborating to do a new venture, basically. And so my friend Scott took me to several shows, which I enjoyed. I think he really wanted like a big reaction from me, and I was pretty buttoned up about it. Like, what these hippies are wild. I don't even know if I can. Like, do I belong here? Is this okay? Long story short, the answer is yes. It's very much okay. But I think it was May of 2017. We went to see them at Hollywood Bowl, and near the end of their second set, they launched into Stella Blue. And before the lyrics even came out, something about the chord progression just like paralyzed me. I was like, Scott, is it okay if we just sit on the ground and listen to this? And he was like, yes, of course. So he sat down and just listened to Stella Blue, and I just wept because it reminded me of how much I missed being in a band.
Right.
And how like the longing for connection with friends in that place of musical collaboration, the sense of freedom that accompanies that place and the presence there.
So you were talking about how it made you really miss the feeling of when you're playing. Like, you never get that feeling doing anything else with other people, with friends. So it was that collaborative thing. I know what you mean. Like, when you look across at someone you play in a band with, and you've just nailed a break in a song, or you're all locked in perfectly, and you just know there's no feeling like it, right?
There's no feeling like it, and it makes you wonder what called you to that place. It makes you feel like magic is real.
Yeah, for sure.
And in so many cases, it just exceeds your wildest imagination of what's possible. Yeah.
When was that happened? When was that show where you
This
had?
was in 2017.
Okay, right. Okay. I mean, other than the odd little maybe pang here and there, was that the first time that it hit you like a train, where you're like, man, I really miss playing in a band situation?
No, it's been a thing that I've had to suppress and nurture and lick my wounds.
Yeah.
Um, because I found myself in a place where I really needed to like be able to pivot and support myself on my own. And this is why I kind of leaned into the recording arts and becoming a recording engineer and sound mixer. Which I think is continuing to like point me back in the direction of like, no, go back to music. You have even more skills and wisdom to apply there now.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the notion that I get from Stella Blue is that it's all about listening. Life is all about listening, so that you can pick up on the thing that will take you to the point in time and fate where you have something to say. And the song sort of wraps up on this idea of like, when you hear that song come crying like the wind, it'll seem like all this life is just a dream. And so dream of the life and listen to Stella Blue.
I love it as well, though, that you are incredibly lucky that you still get to be involved with music, and that's how you basically make your living, I guess.
Oh, I'm so grateful. When I get to, it's sort of I'm the surreptitious secret weapon in the record room now when we're working on music for cartoons predominantly, sometimes video games too, but a lot of animation.
Right.
I am tickled pink every time I can be the guy who helps the actor find the note that they're looking for, or the rhythm that they can't quite understand.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
it's nice. It's also nice knowing that not everyone in the room realizes that I can do that. And so when I have that chance to show up and it's special, because like the reality of being a recording engineer is that the best facilitators are inherently invisible. Like we don't participate the way that the creators do in
Mhm.
the studio space necessarily, especially when we're recording a radio play or a show or a movie.
Mhm.
So when I feel emboldened to open my mouth and it helps connect the dots and move the creativity forward, it's really gratifying for me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Again, a nice segue because we're talking about soundtracks and things. So you chose a song that you love from a soundtrack to a film / game / TV show. So
Yeah.
I knew this song, but I didn't know the movie Angus.
Ah,
So you chose the song J.A.R.
yeah.
By Green Day.
Now I wonder about my friend if it gave.
Well, this one's actually really simple. I mean, it's such a jam. God
Yeah,
damn, it's like the essential Green Day song to me
it
of
has
all.
everything. Yeah.
Um, and what's cool about it is that it's from this nebulous space. I don't know when they wrote it, but when I heard it was on the radio, sort of in
Mhm.
the wake of Dookie.
Mhm.
Mm, Yeah, my friend, my other middle school friend, who were big just Green Day nuts together.
Mhm.
Before I met Nick from over it, he called me and was like, "Dude, there's another new Green Day song, and it's not on Dookie. You gotta come over and hear this. I just recorded it on my boombox. I have the tape. I may have missed the first few seconds, but it's so good."
Yeah.
And he played it to me, and it clicked into the like somewhere in the middle of the bass riff,
Yeah.
and just the earnestness and the like perfectly in tune, but like such snotty delivery of the lyrics with so much heart.
Yeah.
It just it's a stunning song, and come to find out that it's literally about their friend who passed away
Yeah.
as a memorial to his beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
got to make a plan, got to do what's right. Can't run around in circles if you want to build a life, but I don't want to make a plan for a day far away. While I'm young and while I'm able, all I want to do is
It's
jam out, right? It's
it's
it's kind of the same feeling as Stella Blue. It's like this something elusive calling you from the other side,
mhm.
motivating you to fill the world with more beauty, more inspiration.
Mm.
And, come to find out a few years down the road that Over It would be inspired by the loss of one of the original members, the founding original member, Joe Tennant, who passed away
Right.
unexpectedly when we were in high school. That
Right.
was the thing that ultimately would bring us all together and continue to inspire us down the road for the rest of our time.
Right.
Um, and, since then, I've lost a couple of close music friends too. So
Mhm.
it's, yeah, it's only right to do honor to those memories and
Mhm.
keep those people's inspiration alive with a song like that.
Mhm. Yeah, and it makes that, yeah, more poignant, but I love how your friend was just freaking out because it's like it's a new Green Day song because, you were just wanted anything you wanted more from artists that you love, didn't you? You
Yes,
always
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, um, so what the movie, like, are you a fan of the movie Angus that was on, or
The movie's pretty okay. The soundtrack is truly exceptional.
I need to check that then. Yeah.
It's got some other unreleased stuff. There's a couple great songs from the UK band Ash, who I also discovered from that
Okay.
soundtrack.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Ash. Yeah.
and my favorite Goo Goo Dolls song is also on there.
Okay.
Ain't That Unusual? I don't know if you
Right.
know that one.
I don't.
Um, the Muffs are on there.
Oh, wow.
Dance Hall Crashers I discovered from that soundtrack.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm embarrassed I ran out of numbers from that soundtrack, but it is wall to wall the great pop punk movie soundtrack.
I'll check it. There was
American Pie, Eat Your Heart Out.
yeah, right. Okay. There was some great soundtracks from some of those movies, like the what is it? Idle Hands soundtrack is
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's so good. But okay, Dancehall Crashers are on there, of course. Going back to, you've got Blink checking my girlfriend. She's into UL and DHC. You know, so it's just, you know, they say that in Josie. So
That's
it's
right.
yeah. So it's awesome. So
And she's
yeah,
so smart and independent. I don't think she needs me.
yeah, what a song. I do you know, I rewatched that video the other day. I was showing that video to someone, and it turns out that there's a folklore story about how Mark gave Alyssa Milano, you know, because she's in the video,
Yes.
his number, and she never called. But it's not that way. She gave her number to Mark. Yes.
Whoa.
Because if you listen to his book, which is really great, by the way,
Yeah.
or read his book, I listened to it on audio, but yeah, he says that she gave him number, but he was already
In love
courting
with Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
love that.
How cool's that?
I mean, you know, Sky's a keeper if you're going to ignore Alyssa Milano. Come on.
Right.
Come on
Yeah.
now. Wow,
Awesome.
you just added 10% to my adoration of Mark Hoppus. Thank you.
Yeah, I've always thought he's a wonderful man. So
have you spoken with him before?
I've never spoken with Mark. No.
So cool.
Is he?
Nicest,
Yeah.
Nicest, coolest.
Awesome.
Yeah. Runner got the good fortune to appear on his Fuse show.
Okay.
And we played some songs for him, and he was so nice.
Awesome.
It was awesome to meet him.
So, where can people sort of catch up with you and, you know, see what you're up to, Peter? Like, what's your sort of socials and things?
So I'm pretty much Instagram focused.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Instagram. Peter is Munters. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
cool.
Look for me there. Please reach out, and let's look forward to some music soon. I don't know what else to say. Let's sing soon.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, really appreciate you coming on. You know, it's been extremely hard for me to not fully fanboy out, because your music's meant a lot to me for a long time. So really, no, thank you. And yeah, appreciate you coming on, sharing awesome selection. When I saw your selection, I was really excited, and I'm glad that we got to make it happen. So
it's an honor. Really nice to connect with you, and I appreciate your welcoming vibe and your fine taste in music. Leaves nothing to be desired.
Thank you very much. And yeah, stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, cool. Take care.
Cheers.